Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, coming at you to tell you a little bit what's going on my mind. After this week, there's been a lot going on my mind. I'm telling you. I just found out today that I tested positive for the COVID, and I'm really pissed off. But I'm gonna explain that later. But there's a couple things I want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about the guy from Qanon and the guy in the you remember old girl Jenny Cudd? Oh, we got some new information on her. All right, so here we go. So let's talk about Chansley first, aka Qanon. Look in the newspaper or read in the internet, whatever you do, and look him up. This dude here has literally asked to be moved from Washington D.C. because he hadn't eaten in 9 days because they don't serve organic food. Now, I've worked in the jails. I know that if you don't eat, they put you in they put you in solitary confinement, and then they make sure that you eat, or they put you in the mental health ward. Now, you're telling me that all of a sudden now these people have the right to then be moved? And then we'll get to, this is what got me. Washington came in and said, we can't do it. So they literally transfer him over to Alexandria, Virginia, where they said they can give him organic food. People, what's really going on? But regardless of that, Jenny Cudd. You know, I've been following Jenny Cudd. First of all, she ran up in the Capitol on the 6th. A couple days ago, she went in front of the judge and asked for a vacation to Mexico. The judge came back the next day, granted it to her. Oh, but yeah, they got felonies. I'm gonna let you see it right here. She got 4 counts. I'm talking about they about to get her. See, she thought she was playing a game. See, when she was going up in front of the magistrate trying to get a vacation, once they gave her that vacation, they came in and just slid them papers in on them. You ain't going nowhere. Vacation was revoked. That's what I'm talking about. Justice. All right, so let's talk about this COVID. Now, my wife and the kids, they had COVID probably about 10 days ago. All right, they're coming out of their quarantine today. The good thing about it is that they can't get the COVID again. They can't carry it again while I got it. But this is why I'm pissed off. I had to close my business down. As soon as I found out they tested positive, I went in, I quarantined with them, didn't see any of my clients face to face. What's happening with the COVID is because people don't care. I'm telling you, that's what it is. People aren't stopping their businesses. People ain't closing down. People ain't cleaning. People aren't doing anything. Anything that costs extra money, ain't nobody paying for it. I'm telling you, with the PPP, they even said now that you had to make 25% less than what you were making before. Let's be honest. If you're making 25% less than what you were making before, most likely your business is going out of business. Point blank. So these companies ain't trying to wait for PPP. They're not trying to wait for no grants. They're just keeping the businesses open. Out in Houston, I watched a video the other night of a guy who was doing promoting. And I seen a club wide open. No mask, no nothing. Just people dancing, partying, drinking, whatever. I'm literally pissed because now I'm looking at my family got COVID, people out here just doing anything and everything. So I asked my partner, Big B. I said, Big B, what's going on in Houston? He said, man, listen, what they done is they went and they took all of the clubs and made them restaurants. I was like, how they make them restaurant? He said, man, all you got to do is put food on the premises. Even some people got trucks out in front cooking food. Some people got bringing caterers, and they've literally figured out a way to go around the loop. And I'm gonna let you hear what Mayor Turner had to say about it.
It is ludicrous when these bars and clubs have been allowed to classify themselves as restaurants, and when you look at these pictures, there's no food on the table. None, okay? That is crazy. I'm calling on the state to review their policies. They have to review their policies. That is a huge loophole. When the TABC has allowed these restaurants, these clubs, to operate as restaurants, and they are not. They are community spreaders. They are community spreaders.
Listen, people, I'm gonna tell you now, it hit me like a truck, all right? I'm on my way coming up out of it, but man, it hit me for like 2 days. I couldn't even lift my head up. People, we can keep, now don't get me wrong, we can all go for herd immunity if you want to. To be honest, people ain't even getting vaccines now. And I think that's the reason why the government keeps coming up with these new African strands, this blah, blah, blah. What's happening is the pharmaceuticals are pissed. They put all that money in and now nurses aren't taking it. All the frontline people, they've already had COVID, so they ain't taking it. So what's happening? Now they coming out with new strands. What's the new strands? African strand. What's the next one? Mexico strand. It's going to keep being strand. And they're trying to pump it, telling us that if we don't take it, we won't be able. Listen, people, the COVID's real. I got it. I feel it. All right. It feels worse than a flu, but I'm talking about my chest, everything. But this is what I'm saying, though, people. We can't keep going around the loop. We are literally going into a year of being in mass quarantine, and the way this looks, we ain't gonna be out. You tell me this. As soon as the pandemic hit, Google came out and said they were closing. Come on now, be for real. What else? You got Bill Gates. Bill Gates talking about COVID. What is he talking about COVID for? Why is a computer guy talking about COVID? There's money in it. Look at the Silicon Valley. They're running the First Amendment. They're taking everybody's speech away. It's all in transfer of communication. They put the vaccine out. People aren't taking the vaccine. So what do? They go and change it up. And once they change it up, then they make it come back and they try to give you another reason. They put too much money behind these pharmaceuticals. It's just going to be a whole nother thing. But I'm going to tell you, the thing that we got to do is you got to at least protect yourself. I get it. 10 days of quarantine shuts your life down. But just think about the other people. I know I do. I shut my business down. I'm not seeing anybody. People need to come in for drug tests, all of that. We're not seeing anybody. But is everybody doing that? No. And that's the reason why the COVID is keep getting worse. And it's going to keep getting worse. Google knew right from the get-go. How did they know that? Because I'm telling you, Americans aren't going to stop living their lives. Take it easy, it's the Cadillac Counselor. Bye.